Konnichiwa and welcome to part 2 of building the bathroom. In part 1 we built the foundation of the wet room. In this episode we'll be talking about our strategy for the main structure. The most important part of the new bathroom for me is having a nice big window with a beautiful Japanese garden right outside it, which can be viewed from the bathtub. And so, as we build the main structure of the wet room, we'll need to take out that awful old door and install a nice new window. We will make a drain system for the bath and shower and build a surround for the bathtub using concrete cinder blocks. After that, we will pour a sloped floor in the shower area, which we will tile. We will build frames for the walls, window and door. We'll use plasterboard for the walls, which we will then waterproof and tile, and we will install a glass door, which will give us a view of the garden from the changing area and will also allow the light to pass through. And the final part of the main structure of the wet room will be to install a new ceiling with fan and light. In this episode we'll be showing you the planning and preparation work that we did in order that we can start with these main structural tasks. The first thing we did was to bring the bathtub into the house so we could measure up properly and figure out exactly where the drains, window and bathtub surround need to go. We got this tub off Yahoo auction. It's an ex-display model. It's actually still got some corking around the edge which we'll need to scrape off. We paid 53,000 Japanese yen for it, which is about $485 US. I couldn't find this exact model online, but I believe we've paid about 25% of the cost of a new tub. These Western-sized bathtubs are very expensive in Japan. Here's our finished drawing of the bath. It includes the position of the legs and the water out point. And here's the drawing in the wet room. As you can see, it takes up about 50% of the space. To the right of the bathtub where Ichi's standing is where the shower will go. Next, we started making a plan for how we would build the bathtub surround and pour the sloped shower floor. We brought some cinder blocks into the room to help us visualise the process. After formulating a plan for the bottom of the room, we turned our attention to the top. We need to remove the thin wooden ceiling directly above the wet room. In order to do that, Ichi went up into the roof to secure the rest of the ceiling to make sure that the whole thing didn't fall down once we started cutting out the section above the new wet room. With the rest of the ceiling secure, Ichi started cutting. In your eyes? Shall I find you some different goals? This is not a particularly high quality ceiling in this room. It's thin veneer which has been nailed onto wooden frames, so we don't feel bad about ripping it apart. Next, we started thinking about our plan for the wet room walls. You might remember that we'd taken a pillar out of the kitchen. We plan to reuse that in the wet room. It will give us the strength that we need to hang the door. And here's the pillar. As you can see, it's got quite a long tenon on the end. We started by clearing the area and removing the frame into which we had poured the concrete foundation. Once removed, we had a good view of our foundation, which is 2 cinder blocks high with a thick reinforced concrete top. We marked the position of the pillar on the obiki. And set up the laser so we could mark the position for the tenon joint onto the beam in the roof. We repeated the process from the other side so we can find the middle point. We decided to make the mortise hole with Itchy's favourite toy, the chainsaw. The mortise wasn't very deep, so we tried again. And then we cut down the tenon because it was very long. No go.
See mini photo. Take a picture.
It's super mini. With the super mini tenon and mortise prepared, we installed the pillar. Itchy secured the top and bottom with some extra long screws and L brackets. We're very happy with the end result. It's very sturdy and it's almost straight. In part 3 of building the bathroom, we put the new bathroom window in, build the surround to hold the bathtub, and do the drain work. See you next time.